Our first topic is the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. U.S. President Donald Trump's special envoy to the Middle East, Jason Greenblatt, called for Palestinians to replace longtime chief negotiator Dr. Saeb Erekat, saying decades of talks under his leadership have achieved nothing. Dr. Erekat, we have heard your voice for decades, and it has not achieved anything close to Palestinian aspirations or anything close to a comprehensive peace agreement, Greenblatt wrote in an op-ed published in Israel's Haaretz Daily titled, "The Palestinians Deserve So Much More Than Saeb Erekat." Greenblatt was responding to a scathing May 17th Haaretz op-ed penned by Erekat, in which he accused the United States and the Trump administration of being Israel's, quote, partner in occupation. Rogel, can there be any progress when the U.S. and Palestinian representatives talk like this to each other?
No, probably not. But, you know, I'm still waiting on this deal of the century that we were promised. Okay?
The Trump peace plan?
I understand Trump is really, really preoccupied now with Kim Jong-un, so he's having a hard time sort of putting this deal together, you know, the genius deal maker. But I'm really more waiting on the deal of the century than I am on whatever Jason Greenblatt thinks about Saeb Erekat. I mean, obviously there's a problem now that the Trump administration has with the Palestinians really feeling justly that the Trump administration is totally hostile to the way that they envision a solution to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. But nothing will happen not differently if Saeb Erekat is exchanged by someone else. You know, it's just the way the Palestinians view the issue. It's not, Saeb Erekat is not the problem. The problem is that the Palestinians just see the solution to their predicament differently than the Trump administration.
What do you make of this war of words?
I actually, surprisingly, agree with every word.
No.
Yes, I do agree with every
surprised?
word. But the difference is, no, yes, you're a little surprised. The difference is that I think it's a good thing, and you think it's a bad thing.
What's a good thing?
I think it's good that the American administration is sidelining the Palestinians. I think it's everything you said, I happen to agree with. I just happen to think that it's a positive development. And I also agree that Saeb Erekat is not the problem. It's a greater Palestinian leadership problem. And as long as the Palestinians really, that their goal is to destroy Israel and not to create a state, there's always going to be this impasse.
Speaking of positive and negative developments, Lital, the European Union Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini, she canceled her participation in the American Jewish Committee conference that's taking place in Jerusalem today and tomorrow. She's supposed to be there tomorrow, actually. The Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu's bureau, said that he wasn't able to meet with Mogherini anyway, but there are Israeli diplomatic sources that said that, quote, her positions are very hostile to Israel. So, like I said, the U.S. not talking to Palestinians, and here we have the EU very angry with Israel. Is this a position that's good to be in, this stalemate? Is this a good place to be in?
Look, I mean, it's not new to us that Mogherini is taking an anti-Israeli steps, but I do want to talk about what you just talked about, the U.S. administration. I think the Palestinians understand that they can no longer rely on terrorism. The American administration is saying it as it is. Just step down, negotiate, talk about peace. You cannot continue with your terror movement without any consequences. And I think you were talking about Trump's deal or no deal. It's not that Obama brought us anything to the table. It's not that Obama made any kind of progress. So I do believe that we will see a change with the Trump administration.
Trump has been promising this deal for about 2 years.
That's right.
Where has he lost it?
Are you not anticipating the deal? Are you not looking forward to that deal?
We're waiting
the
for
plan?
it.
Where
We're
is
waiting
it?
for it. First of all, he's putting the facts on the ground, moving the embassy to Jerusalem, telling the Palestinians this is the truth, this is the core facts.
Yeah, one can say that he has made more change on the ground. You're right. No deal has been presented yet.
Listen,
but the dynamics have changed thanks to Trump.
Absolutely zero progression towards a solution of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict until now, including the embassy move to Jerusalem. We have not progressed 1 inch toward a new understanding.
Because at the end of the day, our neighbors do not want to achieve peace.
You know, I understand you think that, but I'm saying, where is this deal? Well, why is it more important that this envoy, Jason Greenblatt, write articles against, you know, his Palestinian counterpart? What is there to talk about?
Let me say, I know Ruthie very well. She's going to say
there's no deal. It doesn't really matter what the deal is. Exactly. There is no deal. deal that can come out of the American administration that is going to be signed or agreed to by the Palestinians. None. Short of annihilating the state of Israel, there is no deal.
You don't believe that? You don't believe that they could bring forward a deal that would stipulate, you know, 2 states?
Who are you going to sign a deal with?
No,
we don't even know who's going to replace Mahmoud Abbas.
He's still alive. Sign it with him.
Okay, but you're going to sign an agreement.
You don't know who's going to replace Netanyahu. Sign it with
let's say what's the answer, and then we'll go.
Are you forgetting that we've had many such deals? We had the Oslo Accords. We've had deals up the wazoo, as we say.
We ruined the Oslo Accords
the
just as much as the other
Palestinians,
side
no,
did.
we did not.
Okay. I remember there was this guy who signed the Oslo Accord and he sort of was murdered for it. So, you know, we had some... we had something to do with that.
No. Okay.
All right, I want to move on. The Prime Minister returned from a trip that was focused on Iranian influence in the Middle East, but the 3 hours that he met in Europe, in the United Kingdom, in France, and in Germany, seemed to be a lot more concerned with the Palestinian issue when he was there. And by the way, during
Replace them. They should be replaced.
Who should be replaced? The Palestinians?
Greenblatt should write an article saying, replace Macron, you know, replace Merkel, replace May, you know, replace them.
All right, but seriously, though, during that week when he was there, one of the biggest, should I say, gifts to the Palestinian cause that was ever, I think, given to them, the cancellation of the Argentinian-Israeli friendly soccer match. Big, big news in Israel. Was that last week a watershed moment specifically regarding the boycott issue?
It was a prize for terror, as simple as that, because the only reason why they canceled the game is because the players got threats to their lives, to their families' lives, and it's just a prize for terror, the fact that they stepped down and said, we're going to cancel the game.
But the Argentinian foreign minister said because that they canceled because the game was moved from Haifa, which is the northern port in the city.
Him.
But that's not really the reason. That's not really the reason.
That's not really the reason?
Is that
So
they were afraid of their lives.
He's lying?
They were afraid of their lives. They got death threats.
What do you think?
I think it was canceled because of the insistence of the Israeli government to move this private initiative, make it into a national initiative marking the 70th, Independence Day, move it to Jerusalem.
Why shouldn't the game be played in Jerusalem? It's the capital of the country. Why shouldn't it be played there?
You know, it's just because you have to recognize the fact that there are many, many people in the world outside the Trump administration who still view this issue as an issue that is unresolved, as an issue where Israel is not giving the Palestinians the human and civil rights that they
were supposed to receive. If the game was in Haifa, they would have tried to cancel it anyhow.
That's just a hypothetical that hasn't been tested. You can say that, but that's not how it happened.
No, but what we can test is that Palestinian media and politicians have repeatedly said that Haifa is also illegitimate. In other words,
no, Ajub explicitly said that had it been had the venue been Haifa, they would have had no problem with it. I mean, you know, why not face facts? That's what he said.
Rajub, who is the head of the Palestinian Football League Association,
thank you,
is happens to be a liar and a terrorist. So I wouldn't go by his word. And he is somebody who has.
He's also cooperated with Israeli security for over.
But he
for a really long time.
He has demanded of the International Soccer Federation that Israel be boycotted, and he has made
Israel feels
soccer political, and he claims that Israel is doing.
We made it political. The minute that Israel has inside the Football Association teams from the settlements in the West Bank, that's political.
That's political.